Well, since we're completely in concern that season 9 is possibly going to be the final season of the show, I decided to do a revisit to one of my favorite season finales. Now, I did review A Canterlot Wedding years ago, but then again, it was back in December. Back then, I only had like 50 to 60 subscribers, and back then, I didn't have a lot of ideas on making YouTube videos, and I didn't even have the courtesy to actually have everyone watch all my videos. I mean, my review on the Canterlot Wedding didn't got any likes or dislikes even to this day. But I still keep my opinions even 2 years ago because this special is one of my favorites. Now, I'm going to explain on to why A Canterlot Wedding is the best season finale from this show. I'm just going to say this right now. Of this two-part episode being the finale of season 2 is a very great idea. And this is the first time that Hasbro has ever done this. I don't call the best night ever from the last season because, to be quite honest, it's just one episode, and back then, I don't think there was a lot of fans who enjoyed the show. I think the Brownie fandom has started to grow just before season 2 premiered. I just don't understand what happened at season 1 because that's what it started in 2010 and it ended at the beginning of 2011. I really don't know how it works. But anyways, I think that this special was the reason why so many fans who are completely in love with My Little Pony, because this special completely does everything of what we really expect. And what I mean by that is that, well, this special came out at the beginning of 2012. And during that time, I think the Brony fandom was starting to grow. In my opinion, the first part is a good setup. I mean, it's kind of predictable that Twilight is suspicious that Princess Cadence is acting completely different and not the sin that she used to be back when she was a filly. But in the second part, when she actually found her, and it was actually the real Cadence, and the imposter was actually the villain this whole time. It's very great writing to see, especially that the villain Chrysalis is probably one of my favorite villains from the show. And it's probably kind of unexpected that this and the season 6 finale were the only times that she actually made an appearance. And while the other time that she did make an appearance was season 8. Again, I didn't watch that episode, but I'll get to it when I get to it in My Little Pony Month in March. Now, some people will argue that although season finales, mainly season 4, are completely better than this, and I can understand where they're coming from, but for the way I see it, this show pretty much improves everything of what this show has done ever since it came at the end of 2010. Let me just get this out of the way. I really like the changelings a lot, and how the abilities to change into different ponies is probably a great idea. I mean, the changelings back then were just basically evil changelings, and then before, when they got transformed into good changelings at the end of season 6, you could tell that these kinds of species probably happened at the Equestria War or something. Like, there used to be good changelings, but now they turned to bad changelings. I don't know what happened with the changelings in Equestria, but at the same time, it's probably something that I never actually expected from this finale and from season 6 finale. Considering the fact that the changelings only had a major role in this, the season 6 episode, the season 6 finale, and they actually had some kind of attention in season 7 since that, well, Thorax is now the ruler of all the changelings. Anyway, let's get into the 2 new characters that we saw in this finale. Shainama, who is Twilight's big brother, is a very interesting character. Since this is the first time we ever see him, and he's actually one of the guards and the person who is also protecting Canterlot from any bad thing that could happen, like, you know, the changelings, you can tell that he's a very in-depth character. And the fact that he completely talked to Twilight about how Princess Cadence is acting completely different is because, of course, she was stressed. And things have gone way out of hand ever since that, well, to be quite honest, they haven't gotten out of hand since it's just basically a decoy and not the real Princess Cadence whatsoever. But other than that, the villain who I'll get to later is probably a small villain to have everyone get manipulated so that she can able to rule Equestria. And as for Twilight's brother, I think that he's a very respectful character. He really wants to prove that he can handle things by himself, and he managed to do a big force field around Canterlot. And the fact that he completely tried his best to make everything very perfect with a wedding, you know that things are just going to get much more worse when the villain is just going to cause a lot of havoc. Especially that Shining Armor is completely having headaches ever since that he's completely getting manipulated from Chrysalis. Anyway, let's get into Princess Cadence. Now, this is all opinion. Out of all the princesses that I completely liked in the show, Princess Cadence is by far one of my favorites. I mean, we don't actually get to see her until the final part of this finale. Since that she was underground, possibly under the buildings of Canterlot, you can tell that she was really upset that things have gone way worse ever since she got captured from Queen Chrysalis. And when Twilight actually meet her for the very first time after for so long, you can tell how really heartwarming to see these two characters reunite after so many years when Cadence was her falsetto and Twilight was just being the luckiest falsetto ever. And let's get into the songs, because in my opinion, these songs are by far one of the best songs that My Little Pony has ever done. The Big Brother Best Friend song is probably a very good song considering the fact that Twilight and Shining Armor haven't met after for so long. And the song really proves it that Twilight really misses her brother so much, to the point that when you listen to the song every single time, it never gets old. For this being the first season finale, you can tell that they put a lot of effort to make this finale very memorable, since that they're trying to make the show a bit serious, and this was during the time where Twilight was just a unicorn and not an alicorn yet. Yeah, I mostly miss Twilight when she is an alicorn, when she's a unicorn, but at the same time, people really despise Twilight for being a princess, but that was the season 3 finale, so that's a completely different story. By the way, before I became a Bonnie, I recognized the song when I watched a few videos from other cartoons and anime. Yep, this was the very first song that I actually listened from the show. When I first heard it, it was too juvenile, but at the same time, when I looked more videos about My Little Pony, I can really understand that it's really not much of a big deal since, well, this show has so many fans. The fan base is way bigger than Powerpuff Girls. And it really shows. It's just really sad that some people like Bonnie Boy, I think that's what his name is, completely give up on liking this show because of how the show has came to be. It's just really sad that moments like these were very old and I didn't get the chance to look at them because I became a Bonnie in 2016, which is kind of a bit late, but at the same time, I don't really blame myself. I don't usually like things this cool this early. But then again, people have been late to the party, I guess. But anyway, let's get into Chrysalis and Cadence's song. This day, area, yeah, I can't spell the A word right, seriously, these songs are getting hard to remember. But anyway, this song in Area is probably one of my favorite songs from any season finale for several reasons. For one, we get to see the dark side of Cadence, even though it's clearly Chrysalis, and the good side of Cadence. I mean, when you hear Queen Chrysalis sing, you can tell that she has everything planned out. But when you listen to Princess Cadence's song, it's very heartwarming and very beautiful to relate how important Princess Cadence really is in the show. I mean, she really tries to make sure that nothing bad can ever happen in the wedding, and if she actually was there in the first part of this finale, then things will probably turn out good, but they probably need to have some kind of twist in the first part of this finale, so they had to have Cadence be on the grounds. And I completely enjoy the music and lyrics of this song. It just never, ever gets old. To me, this is one of the major reasons onto why this show has gotten so many bronies, and people say that 2012 and 13 were the golden years of the brony fandom. I'm not kidding. People completely say that 2012 and 13 was the golden years of being a brony. This is probably one of them, and I think this completely cemented its reputation. Now let's get into the reprise versions. The reprise versions are not. I think they're really better than what the original song has done. Even for a few seconds, it completely works, considering the fact that Twilight completely messes up, even though in reality she really didn't. And the reprise version of This Day and Area, I didn't explain that much in my overview, but to be honest, it's just basically the bad side of what Chrysalis is going to do in the Ecclesia. I just found it mostly predictable, but at the same time, it's probably a good thing considering the fact that she was this close of taking over Ecclesia. So I would say that both reprise versions are pretty good. Now let's get into Queen Callistoris. Yes, I'll get to the final song later, but I have other things to talk about.